Hello, everybody, and I would like to thank my wonderful subscribers.
Hello, everybody, and today we are going to be doing part 2 of 4 horrific true Christmas stories. Last time we did the one by Glenn and the one about football. Today we are going to do story number 3 by Thomas P. And let's just watch it right now. What do we have here? Christmas? Horror? Let's go.
I remember this night way too clearly.
Okay,
and
why?
even now, I think about how close my family came to something really terrible.
Shit.
It
Tell
was
me about
early
it.
December, and we decided to drive up north into the mountains to cut down a real Christmas tree.
Nice.
It was something my wife Marianne and I always wanted to do, and our 7-year-old son Andrew was excited about it too.
Okay.
The weather was cold and cloudy, and the sky had that heavy look where it feels like snow is always about to fall again. To us, that added to the Christmas vibe.
I bet.
The whole
Sounds
ride
good.
up the winding roads made me feel like a kid again. It was a while since I'd done something this unique and in the Christmas spirit, and having Andrew so excited about it just brought me back to my youth.
Yeah.
When we finally reached the remote area Marianne found online, there were no other cars around in the parking area.
Yeah?
There were a bunch
Who
of
wants to
light posts
cut out
scattered
their
around,
own
so we
Christmas
weren't in
tree?
pitch black darkness if you were wondering. That's why we picked the place. Still, we did bring flashlights. We parked by a small, unmarked path that led deeper into the trees. There was a lot of snow on the ground still from the snowfall we got a few days earlier, and up this high, the snow took even longer to melt. Andrew jumped out of the car right away and started throwing snowballs at us, so I started throwing them back. We were here to have fun, so of course I was going to try to make it as memorable as possible for Andrew. I grabbed our flashlights and the axe that I planned to use to chop down a tree.
Wow, well, we got
We
handyman.
walked up the narrow path with snow crunching under our boots. Andrew kept running ahead, stopping to point at trees he thought might be perfect.
Yeah.
The deeper we went, the more the road behind us disappeared.
Oh,
and the only light came from the faint moon glowing behind the thick clouds. It was so quiet that I even asked Marianne and Andrew to stop for a second, just to really take it in. There was not a single sound, maybe a light breeze, that was it. To be honest, if I had been there alone, I'd have been slightly creeped out just off the silence and darkness alone.
Yeah?
As we walked deeper onto the trail, we had to utilize the flashlights we brought, all 3 of us. Andrew was having a lot of fun with the flashlight, until the light from the parking lot was no longer visible.
Oh, shit.
It was now basically total darkness outside of the flashlights.
That's not good.
He started to get a little nervous, evidently, because he asked how far we were going to go, and he made a comment on the darkness.
Ew.
I kept feeling like someone was watching us, or like something was walking behind us.
Okay,
but
well,
every time I turned around,
that's not
there was
good.
nothing but the empty snow path. About 10 minutes
I would be worried.
we finally found a spot where the trees were tall and full.
How tall
Andrew
do they
ran
have
around
to
them
be?
in circles, looking for the best one. Marianne stayed closer to me and whispered that she wanted to pick a tree fast because she had a weird feeling too.
Yeah, we all do.
I got exactly what she meant. This was a lot creepier than I had imagined.
Yeah, it's night.
Right then, I heard soft crunching
Why
behind
would you
us.
go at night?
It wasn't any of us, nor was it an animal. It sounded like boots crunching the snow, but very slowly, sneaking-like. When I turned around, I saw a man in dark clothes, standing about 20 feet back on the path.
That's not
Dressed for
good.
the weather. His hands were bare and red from the cold. His jacket looked more like a windbreaker. His face looked pale and stiff, like he'd been out in the cold for way too long.
Yeah, that's not...
Marianne grabbed Andrew's arm to pull him closer.
Yeah.
When the man noticed we were looking at him, he suddenly smiled in an off-putting way and stepped closer.
No.
He asked if we were looking for a Christmas tree.
Yeah?
His voice breaking the already unsettling silence was uncomfortable. His voice was deep and kind of soft. Before I could say anything,
What kind
Andrew
of
answered
soft?
yes, excited again.
Why?
I felt a jolt of panic because I didn't want this man knowing anything about us.
Yeah.
Marianne quickly told him no, that we were just walking.
Your
The man
kid
stepped
already
closer
gave you
again,
away.
and the way he moved made every hair on my arm stand up. He told us not to worry because he wasn't a park ranger. He
What?
said it like he could tell exactly why we lied, because admittedly, what we were doing was super illegal.
What? Okay.
I didn't want to talk to him at all. Something was wrong with him.
Why
He
would you
looked
do it?
hungry or desperate, or like he hadn't slept in days. I guess, for lack of a better word, he looked homeless.
Okay.
I told Marianne we should head back to the car.
Yeah.
She nodded, gripping Andrew's jacket.
I thought it
We
was
started walking past the
it's
man.
a
He
needle.
stood by, smiling and watching, giving slight nods as if to say goodbye as we walked.
Ew.
Andrew kept turning around, asking if the man was following, and we
Yeah.
told him to stay facing forward.
Probably.
Every time I looked back, the man was a little bit closer than before, even though I didn't hear him speed up.
Okay, you have to
I
run.
whispered to Marianne that when we reached the main road, we had to run to the car.
Yeah.
She held Andrew's hand tighter and nodded without looking back. The man's steps stayed behind us the whole time, dragging a little, like his boots were too big or too heavy.
Yeah. He
Once
knows
we
you're
got close
there.
enough to
You
see the
know
gap
you're
in the trees
there.
where the car was parked, I told
You're
them
gonna
to
have
go.
to run.
Marianne lifted Andrew and ran as fast as she could. The only reason I felt even remotely safe was because of the axe in my hand.
Good.
I'm not a
Good.
violent person, and I've never had to resort to violence in my entire life.
Really?
I turned around to block the path behind us for even just a second. The man had stopped walking and was just staring at me, and he put his hands up halfway, still smiling.
Ew.
And then he said, "I mean no harm. Why don't you get back to your truck now?" And I felt my heart
How
skip
do you
a
know
beat
it's a
as he
truck?
said this. He said truck, like he knew we came in a pickup truck. I replied back simply that we don't want any trouble.
Yeah?
Then I turned and started hurrying back down to the lot. But
Did he
halfway
chase?
there, Marianne screamed my name, sounding panicked.
Oh no.
Oh no, I thought. When I got to the truck, she showed me that both right side tires were punctured.
Shit.
I didn't
He
have
did
time
it.
to examine it for long to realize it was him. I told Marianne
Yeah.
to call 911 immediately, but she struggled to find service at first.
Ah,
She
damn.
walked around the snowy lot for a bit until there was reception. She never strayed too far away. I had Andrew wait in the truck, who was now clearly concerned as he watched Marianne and I freaking out.
Yeah, not
He
the
was old
best
enough
deal.
to know something bad was happening. Marianne seemed to be having a hard time on the phone, so I took it and explained our location and that we felt threatened by a random man in the woods who may have potentially been responsible for the tires.
Yeah.
Given the potentially unstable individual in the vicinity, and the fact that we had a child with us, police were taking this very seriously.
Good.
And told me to keep my family locked in the truck until police arrive, and that a tow truck will be sent as well.
Thank
I was
you.
instructed to keep the operator on the line while we waited. But eventually, the line started getting choppy, cutting out at moments because of the poor reception.
Well, that's not good.
Then, Marianne suddenly screamed in my ear to look, and
Where?
pointed towards the tree line by the path we were on. There were multiple people standing just beyond the tree line. I counted at least 3. It
Oh,
looked like shadows from where
that's
we were,
cool.
which made the sight even more terrifying.
kinda.
It was like we were being stalked and hunted.
Yeah.
Then 2 of the people started walking closer.
Okay.
I told the operator, and she said something that really made me
Oh
uncomfortable.
no.
She asked if I had any kinds of weapons.
Yeah.
And when I said I had the axe, she implied that if it came down to it, to use it to defend my family.
Good.
By this point, Andrew was crying,
Good.
and Marianne tried to calm him down. I told the operator that 2 of the figures were still walking toward the truck.
Yeah.
They weren't running or yelling or anything.
You have an
They
axe.
just walked very slowly, like they knew we weren't going anywhere.
Yeah.
The third figure
They cut
strangely
the
disappeared,
tires.
likely back deeper into the woods away from the light. The operator told me the police were close,
Yeah.
but I had no idea if that meant 2 minutes or 10.
Ooh.
I kept looking back and forth between the tree line and the road in the distance, praying to see flashing lights.
Yeah.
I tried to talk to the operator again, but the call dropped.
Shit.
The
Oh,
second
that
it
would
cut
horrify
off,
me.
everything felt 100 times worse. I locked the doors again, even though
You
they were
did it?
already locked. I kept my hand on
Okay.
the axe, gripping it so hard my knuckles hurt. As the 2
Okay.
people were now within range of hearing them speak, we could hear them saying, "We're here to help,"
No, you're
as
not.
they waved their hands in the air. We didn't recognize either of them to be that guy from earlier.
He's the one
"Do you
who
think
fell
they're park
back.
rangers?" Marianne
No.
asked. And I said firmly, "Not a chance." But perhaps I said it too loud, because Andrew just started crying even more,
Ah.
which Marianne had to try extra hard to console him. These 2 people approaching were dressed similarly to that first guy, aka way underdressed, and their clothes looked worn out, almost dirty.
Yeah.
And they didn't seem bothered
Oh,
by
they're
the cold at all.
creepy.
But then, seemingly randomly, the 2 of them turned around and started running back in the
Oh, the
direction they had
top
come
car.
from. We didn't know why just yet, but it was soon clear. Never have we been so ecstatic to hear the sound of police sirens.
Yeah.
It was getting louder fast, and eventually we saw the flashing lights coming from down the road. Coming pretty fast, actually. The police SUV entered the lot with its spotlight on, and it instantly shined in our direction.
Good.
I flashed my lights to try to get the cop in the car to see the men running back into the woods. At this point, though, they were already nearly gone.
Shit.
But their footprints weren't.
Okay.
Once the SUV was next to us, 2 officers jumped out immediately with flashlights drawn, and I got out to basically get on my knees thanking them. I pointed in the direction the men ran. I said they disappeared into the trees like they had rehearsed where to go. The police told us to stay inside the truck while they searched, and more units showed up within minutes. 1 officer stayed with us. Andrew was no longer scared, but rather once again excited at the commotion and the sight of police officers.
God,
After a long search, the police came back and told us what I already knew they were gonna say.
They were gone?
They didn't find anyone. Just tracks in the snow that went deep into the woods and eventually spread out in different directions. They didn't know if the people lived somewhere out there or if they were part of some kind of camp deeper in the mountains.
A cult?
They said sometimes drifters or squatters stay hidden in remote areas during the winter. The tow truck eventually arrived, and the police stayed around us the entire time until our truck was loaded up.
Good.
We had to sit in the back of a patrol car to stay warm while they finished everything. No one really said much. Marianne held Andrew in her lap, and I just stared out the window, watching the dark tree lines, half expecting to see someone standing there again.
Did you?
On the ride back home, none of us talked. It was like all of us were afraid that saying anything out loud would make it real again.
It was
We didn't try to cut down a Christmas tree ever again.
Yeah.
We didn't even go back to that mountain area. Even now, 10 years later, I refuse to go anywhere near it. To this day, what scares me the most is the thought that they had been watching us long before we even noticed them. They saw us arrive in that parking lot because they knew to strand us by slashing my tires, and they were waiting for us to go deep enough into the trees so we wouldn't make it back to the truck. We were lucky we trusted our instincts enough and decided to leave for the truck almost right away. We were also lucky I was holding an axe, which may have dissuaded them from doing something crazy. I don't like thinking about how close we came to potentially never going home.
I mean, to be fair, if you didn't have an axe, that means you weren't going to cut down a tree. And if you weren't going to cut down a tree, you wouldn't be there. So, I mean, having an axe isn't really what, isn't really yucky. It's just what you had to have to do what you were going to do. This is also why you shouldn't do, illegal shit, try to cut down your own tree. Always buy plastic trees. They're reusable, they're better, and you don't have to put them outside to rot. Okay? But, watch the last story, which is going to be Story 4 by James. Listen to this.
I still think about this one night from when I was 9 years old.
Ooh.
It was a few days before Christmas. My parents both had things to do that night. And since I was almost 9, they felt okay leaving me home for a little bit.
Is that
my mom had to run to the
age?
grocery store to get some stuff for Christmas dinner, and my dad was working late like he usually did in December.
Okay.
I was sitting on the couch watching a Christmas movie probably, and eating cookies by the fireplace and tree. Outside, it was already dark, even though it was still relatively early, and I remember the Christmas lights flashing on the houses across the street. It was normal, until the doorbell rang.
It's not Halloween.
The only reason this made me stop and look was because it was rather late and random for someone to ring the bell, and my mom always told me never to answer the door when I was alone.
So don't answer.
My parents never ring the bell, obviously, since they have keys. I got up and walked to the door anyway because I wanted to look through the peephole.
Okay, good.
When I put my eye up to it, I saw there was a man standing on the porch wearing a Santa Claus suit. It was the full thing, too. The red coat, the hat, the beard, everything. But he didn't look like a normal, friendly Santa.
How so?
He wasn't holding anything besides what looked like a clipboard, and he was standing way too close to the door, like he was waiting for me to unlock it. I didn't know what to say at first, so I just kind of whispered, "Who is it?" The man moved his head a little closer to the door, like he was trying to see through the peephole or hear me better. And in that moment, He figured out right away that I was a kid.
Shit.
He did, I guess, what was his best Santa impression, as he
Do you
said he
do
was
ho, ho,
Santa,
ho?
and that he had gifts for me, and that I should open the door.
No.
At 9 years old, I wasn't stupid.
Good.
I didn't believe in Santa anymore.
Good.
My parents taught me about strangers. I told them to go away and that I didn't need anything, and I tried to sound brave, but my voice cracked.
Shit.
The man went silent for a second, and then he asked me if I was home alone.
No.
As soon as he said that, I knew to walk away. I instantly felt stupid for even letting him know I was home.
Yeah.
I didn't answer him. I stepped
Oh
back
my
from
God.
the door and walked fast to the living room because I suddenly felt too scared to stand near it.
Yeah.
I sat on the couch and grabbed a pillow and stared at the TV like I...
No, you grab a knife. You grab that tiny little knife that you can hold. Okay, so if I went that deep into the conversation, I have to finish it at that point. The first thing I would do is ask Mom what I should do. Yeah, hey Mom, what do I say? So hopefully he thinks that the mom is there and he just can't hear the answer. Because he might believe that, oh hey, this kid is just answering the door for his family, not that they aren't here. He tried to probe how you're gonna answer, and you definitely shouldn't have just not answered. That's not a good sign. He didn't take it as if you didn't answer because there isn't a good answer.
Acting normal would make the fear go away.
Nope.
But then I heard the doorknob twist.
Shit.
He was testing if the door was locked.
It is.
I wanted to scream for help, but nobody was home.
Yeah.
I waited and hoped he would leave.
He's not
But
going
a moment
to.
later, I heard another sound from the back of the
Oh
house.
no.
It was the back doorknob twisting.
Is it locked?
It happened so fast after the front door that I bet he ran around the house to the back.
Yeah.
That door was even weaker than the front one, and we almost never used it. I felt frozen in place.
Yeah.
And all I could think about was that my house only had 2 doors, and this man was trying both.
Yeah.
I ran to the kitchen and grabbed the phone and dialed my mom's number.
911.
When she answered, I started talking really fast, trying not to cry.
Oh my God.
I told her someone
I
was trying
get
to
it,
get into
though.
the house, and he was dressed like Santa. My mom got serious right away.
Good.
Told me she was coming home right now, and that I should not open any doors no matter what.
He's not going
She told me
to.
to stay in the living room and keep the curtains closed. I sat on the floor behind the couch where I couldn't be seen from any windows, and I stayed
Good.
completely still.
Do you have a
I kept
bathroom?
hearing small noises outside,
A
like
window?
footsteps or
Right.
light taps. Just some forms of sound indicating that someone was still there. Eventually, they stopped, and not long after, I heard a car pulling into our driveway, and I knew it was my mom because I recognized her squeaking brakes.
Okay.
I stayed where I was until I heard the front door unlock and slam open. My mom came in breathing hard and holding 2 grocery bags.
She
She
can
locked the door
bypass.
behind her and yelled out for me, and I ran to her right away. She hugged me and then told me she had just seen a man dressed as Santa walking down our street.
That's him.
She said she slowed her car down when she saw him, and she yelled at him out the window asking what he was doing. The man told her he was going door to door asking for donations, but she didn't believe him for a
Yeah.
second.
Duh.
She said he looked nervous, and that he walked away fast when she started yelling. My mom told me she was proud of me for not opening the door and for
Yeah.
calling her right away.
Good.
She called the police and reported the man, and I'm sure police at the very least surveyed the area.
Yeah. Not much
We never
they can
found out if he
do.
was arrested or if he just disappeared into the neighborhood.
Yeah.
2 neighbors did say, though, that the man knocked on their doors asking for donations, though they said it seemed like a scam. Regardless, that doesn't change the fact that he tried to get into our house, where he knew a little boy was home alone. I still think about that night every year around Christmas when I see Santa decorations.
Ooh.
I just remember being 9 years old and knowing that man on our porch was not Santa and that he wanted something else. I
Shit.
guess I was lucky the doors were locked and my mom got home when she did. What would have happened if that door was unlocked is terrifying to think about.
I mean, I think the hope is that the reason it was locked isn't because you're locked. It's because you guys knew to lock your doors. Remember, it should never come down to locked. But, yeah. these two were really good. I think, sorry, I think I like the second one a bit more than I like the first one. But apart from that, that is all I have to say about these two stories. And I hope to see you guys next time. Bye!